Good morning, everyone, from Ford City, Pennsylvania. This is Chuck King on Tuesday, September 21st, 2021, bringing you a morning Bible study. And we have been covering lessons in Proverbs, working our way through the Proverbs. And we are on Proverbs 26 this morning. Proverbs 26, verse 1. Like snow in summer and like rain in harvest, so honor is not fitting for a fool. So honor is not for a fool. And the comparison is the untimely snow that would be in summer, which is really impossible, and harvest hardly ever had the rain. So honor is not fitting for the fool either. Verse 2, like a sparrow in its flitting, like a swallow in its flying, so a curse without cause does not alight. So here we mention a curse that would come upon people for their disobedience. The Lord blesses obedience, and he brings judgment or discipline or a curse upon the disobedience of people. But if there is no reason for the discipline, there will be no curse. And like a sparrow or a swallow just flying around quickly and darting, but never lighting on you, that is the metaphor used here to describe a curse that doesn't come on a person. Verse 3, a whip is for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. So showing the need to motivate the horse and the donkey with the whip and the bridle, that foolish people who refuse to follow the counsel of the Lord, the wisdom, knowledge, and fear of the Lord, they need discipline. That's what it says. Verse 4, do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you will also be like him. Answer a fool as his folly deserves, that he not be wise in his own eyes. We can't respond to a foolish person in the way they respond, or we will be also a fool. We should answer a fool in a way that he needs to be answered, so that he understands that his foolishness is not good. And so we need to correct and rebuke fools, not answer them in a foolish manner. Verse 6, he cuts off his own feet and drinks violence, who sends a message by the hand of a fool. So we can't trust a foolish person to be a faithful messenger. You bring trouble on yourself if you send a message by a fool. You basically remove your ability to communicate properly. Verse 7, like the legs which are useless to the lame, so is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like someone who's handicapped, so are the messages that are the proverbs that a foolish person would bring. Verse 8, like one who binds a stone in a sling, so is he who gives honor to a fool. Nobody would tie a stone in the sling. It would never reach its mark. That's a foolish thing to do. So you, in the same way, you shouldn't honor a foolish person. Worldly person, someone who lives by the wisdom of the world instead of the wisdom of God. We shouldn't be honoring people like that. Verse 9, like a thorn which falls into the hand of a drunkard, so is a proverb in the mouth of fools. You can see that word picture, a drunkard with a branch of thorns, waving it around dangerously. So is a proverb in the mouth of a fool. We shouldn't listen. It's dangerous to listen to a fool. Verse 10, like an archer who wounds everyone, so is he who hires a fool or who hires those who pass by. An archer is sent to hit a specific target, not just to wound at random. And this is what happens when you hire someone who's not qualified. They are dangerous. They don't hit the mark. Verse 11, like a dog that returns to its vomit is a fool who repeats his folly. And we see that metaphor used in Peter's words, that if someone who escaped the wickedness of the world by knowing Jesus and then turns back to the world is like a dog returning to its vomit. And so that's the picture here. A foolish person repeating their foolishness is like a dog that returns to eat its vomit. Verse 12, do you see a man wise in his own eyes? There's more hope for a fool than for him. A person needs to be humble and realize that the only hope they have is the Lord and his standard, his wisdom, his knowledge. And instead of being proud and arrogant about your own abilities, and that's what that proverb speaks to. Verse 13, the sluggard says, there is a lion in the road. A lion is in the open square. As the door turns on its hinges, so does the sluggard on his bed. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish. He is weary of bringing it to his mouth again. The sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can give a discreet answer. So we have several verses here talking about the sluggard, the lazy person, the one who won't go to work to support himself, to bear fruit, to help other people. They make any excuse for not working. Even this extreme, the lion's out there, I can't go out there. Staying in bed without getting up to work. So lazy, he can't even feed himself. Yet, he's wiser in his own eyes than 7 wise people. This is a description of the lazy person who won't take the initiative to be diligent and hard working. Verse 17, like one who takes a dog by the ears is he who passes by and meddles with strife not belonging to him. So it would be foolish to grab a dog by the ears. You'll get bitten. Dog will bite you. And so you shouldn't get involved in someone else's controversy as you pass by, or you'll get in trouble. Verse 18, like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death, so is the man who deceives his neighbor and says, was I not joking? It's dangerous to deceive your neighbor and then to claim you were joking. And it can be deadly. And that's what that scripture speaks to. We cannot deceive anyone. We must speak the truth. Verse 20, for lack of wood, the fire goes out, and there is no whisper contention. Where there is no whisper contention, quiets down. So just like a fire will go out without more fuel, a slander, a whisper, who is silenced, who is not there, reduces the contention. That's the danger of a whisperer, someone who causes contention and strife. But without such a person, contention quiets down. Verse 21, like coal to hot embers and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. So it's the same message. When you feed the fire, it's like a contentious man continuing to cause strife. Verse 22, the words of a whisperer are like dainty morsels. They go down into the innermost parts of the body. We've all experienced a whisperer, someone who likes to gossip and slander and bring about contention among people. People's carnal nature are attracted to that kind of information, but they affect you deep down inside, defile you. Verse 23, like an earthen vessel overlaid with silver dross are burning lips and a wicked heart. So the silver covering of an earthen vessel doesn't change the fact that it's an earthen vessel. And fancy talk does not cover up a wicked heart. Verse 24, he who hates disguises it with his lips, but he lays up deceit in his heart. When he speaks graciously, do not believe him, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred covers itself with guile, his wickedness will be revealed before the assembly. So here we have a person who disguises their wicked heart with deceit and his words, even speaking graciously. That kind of person is not to be believed. In that heart there are abominations, the scripture says. Even though he covers it up with deception and craftiness, sooner or later that wickedness will be revealed. It will come out. And this is why we have to avoid people like this. They look good on the outside, but their words are destructive. Verse 27, he who digs a pit will fall into it, and he who rolls a stone, it will come back on him. So there's sowing and reaping, said a different way. If you try to dig a pit for someone, it will end up catching you. And if you roll a stone to damage someone, it will come back on you. So whatever you sow, you will reap. This wickedness will be revealed, and everyone will know it. Verse 28, a lying tongue hates those it crushes, and a flattering mouth works ruin. So we're having a lot to say in Proverbs 26 about false communication from a wicked heart. Someone who lies and covers up their deceit and the damage that it does. Even flattery. Flattery is a damaging thing. When you run into someone that constantly says nice things to you and builds you up, you can be sure that many of those people are stabbing you in the back to other people. And this is what Proverbs 26 is warning us about. The deception of a wicked heart. Don't trust it. Sooner or later, it will all come to judgment. These instructions are contrasting a wise person with a foolish person, a person who is sincere with a wicked person, a person who is hardworking with a lazy person. These are all lessons for us to learn from Proverbs so that we embrace the standard of Scripture, the wisdom, knowledge, and fear of God that will make us successful and fruitful and not cause us to fail in the carnal nature. All right. God bless you. We'll study Proverbs 27 tomorrow.